G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for being here and giving me the opportunity to entertain you as we talk about the greatest sport in the history of the human race, rugby. And this weekend is the first week of Rugby Championship, the greatest rivalry in the history of rugby, South Africa versus New Zealand, the Springboks versus the All Blacks. Yeah, the media will like to tell you, oh, the greatest rival in the history of rugby is England versus Ireland. No, wait, it's England versus Wales. Oh no, it's France versus England. No. And I know, I've read some of the media in New Zealand and in South Africa, they would like to pretend, oh, England is the biggest rival because we hate England. No. If you're a real rugby fan, you know, deep down in the cockles of your heart, there's nothing better in the world than beating the All Blacks or beating the Springboks. Especially if you're a Wallaby, okay? But this, let's make no doubt about it, this is the biggest rivalry in the history of rugby, and I can't wait to watch this game this weekend. I am, as you can tell, having way too much coffee already. So, going into this game, two teams in two kind of weird kind of situation here actually. The Springboks, despite beating Wales, did lose first time at home to Wales in that test series in July, whereas the All Blacks lost their test series against Ireland at home. So both teams were in a bit of an interesting situation, and I think the key here, it's not about, oh, the All Blacks firing their coaches, it's not about the South Africa losing a match at home to Wales. No, none of that. The key thing here is the way the coaches were treating these issues. So the All Blacks, when they lose a game, it's the sky's falling. Let's quickly try to find a way to make sure we don't lose again. And Fozzie goes into his shell and picks a team where he thinks, he's probably not even, he picks a team where it's kind of like his safe option, and he's failed to really look at the important futures, the important, I guess, he's kind of like starting to let the media dictate him a little bit. And I feel like that's what happened in the third test for the All Blacks selection. He made a few rush changes, and as a result of media pressure, and it did not pay off for him. Whereas the Springboks, when they lost their second test, the coaches had a very clear strategy what they wanted to do. They wanted to see new players in the second test. They have a plan of taking the new players forward into the Rugby World Cup next year, and they wanted to know how they're going to perform under pressure, and they put them out there in a match where the media really talked it up as the, never losing to Wales at home, wanted to keep the undefeated streak at home. They put that streak on the line and they lost. And you know what they did? They said, it's okay. We have a plan. We don't care what you say in the media. We follow our plan. And they kept moving forward with the plan that with their own plan, at their own pace. And I really feel like that is a stark difference between the two sides. And also, it's something that, could make it, could be a very different, could be, says a lot about the way the team are managed behind the scenes, not just the coaches, but the support from the unions themselves as well. Just something that I've kind of noticed. So this match changes for both teams from the July International Test Series. So the Springboks basically looked at the players that have performed really well from the 3 tests and then combined them into this team that we're going to see today. Whereas the All Blacks, still just shuffling players around. Quite a few interesting selections, and we'll have a look at it in a minute. So first up, obviously there's a bit of a back chat going to this game. So I think some very, very shots has been fired a little bit from the Springbok camp. Jax Ninamba kind of, he was asked what his thoughts about the coaching situation in New Zealand, as there was a lot of talks about Fozzie getting fired. People want him to get fired and having, Razor taking over from the Crusaders head coach. He just says something like, I'm not going to speculate, but he says something that's really interesting, just a little stat, just a little bit of poke at Fozzie. He basically said that, when you represent your country, there's always going to be pressure. If you're a coach or a player, you are 2 games from being dropped and you are 2 poor games away from being fired. And guess what? The All Blacks are going to be playing 2 games in South Africa. And yeah, he's just really turned the pressure on on Fozzie. And we did hear there was like the New Zealand head, New Zealand rugby boss came out and basically said, Fozzie is the man that is most suited to, he says something along the lines of most suited to take the All Blacks to play the Springboks in the 2 tests. And he did not say, we believe Fozzie is the man to take the All Blacks to the World Cup anymore. He just said he was the man that is most suited to take it to play against the Springboks. So there's a bit of a change of tone there as well, even from within the New Zealand side. So a lot of little thing going on here, a lot of pressure being applied to the All Blacks team. Now, obviously, we talked about the team. One of the biggest things that I think the All Blacks made is bringing in some changes that was desperately lacking in the All Blacks front row, in the All Blacks front line, essentially. The 4-pack. The All Blacks went ahead and fired their forwards coach and brought in the current Crusaders forwards coach. What's his name? Jason Ryan. So they are already making changes in the coaching stuff, identifying that issue that they were having with Ireland, where they really got outplayed in the set pieces and outplayed in the breakdowns as well. For the Springboks and All Blacks overall, obviously the Springboks has 2 games at home. This is going to be a big advantage for the Springboks. And this guy Jan de Konen already did some stats for us. So thank you, Jan. I think it's Jan actually. Thank you, Jan. So basically, he's looked at the two games we play. One is in New Spirit, which is a player, Mbombela Stadium, which is a place where none of the teams they haven't played each other there before, so no one knows what's going to happen. And it's 700 meters. It's not really an altitude there either. And then the second test is in Lowvale in Ellis Park. Slight bit of altitude, 1,700 meters, which some of you guys actually mentioned is not really altitude at all. To be like, there's other than the fact that maybe the air is a little bit thinner, the ball can travel a bit further. But in terms of struggling to breathe, it's really not high enough for that to affect the players physically. And the good news for the Springboks is that at Ellis Park, the Springboks has won 9 out of 14 tests. So the Springboks won 9, the All Blacks won 5. So a bit of advantage there. But overall, the 2 team stats are pretty close. The Springboks has a home game advantage of 1 game out of 49 games being played. So yeah, there's 50 games being played. The Springboks have won only has 1 game advantage, 25-24 with 1 draw. And ever since Rassie Erasmus has taken over the team, the Springboks and South Africa affair has been extremely close, within 2 points over the years, and a draw. And there was only 1 match that was played. That was the pool stage in the 2019 Rugby World Cup, where the margin's greater than 2 essentially. So very close affair. Gonna be expecting a very close match again this weekend. So the weather in Mbombela is pretty good for Saturday, 29 degrees, maybe a bit of a humidity, but it's about as good as you can get for a rugby match. And let's have a look at the lineup. So obviously the big issue that we looked at already for the All Blacks is the front row, is the 4-pack. They were really beaten by the Irish in the rolling maul. A little bit of struggle, a little bit of sweat in the scrummaging, and the breakdown really lost that quite convincingly, I would say. There were a lot of key turnovers by the Irish team that the All Blacks was not really there to contest. So as a result, there were obviously a lot of changes for the All Black team. There was big focus, obviously, by the All Blacks coaches to make sure that the front rowers are set for the Springboks, since the Springboks is probably the best. I'm going to say probably is the best set piece team in the world. They absolutely thrive. They love it. They love the scrummaging. They love the lineouts. They love just belting you with physicality at the breakdown. The three key areas that the All Blacks lost, they really look like, yeah, this is going to be the most important contest coming up this weekend once again. So for the Springboks, Trevor Nyanke, this is actually something that I've noticed as well. This has been very successful for the Springboks. Last game against Wales, they brought in Trevor Nyanke, who also plays tight head. So Trevor Nyanke, Malcolm Marx comes off his normal position as the bench, comes up at number 2 position to really, make sure that the line, to really give him a bit more time. This is pretty interesting because Malcolm Marx hasn't played at a starting number 2 position for a long time now. I can't even remember the last time he played at a starting 2 position. It was probably 2019. So I actually can't remember last time he played since the Rugby World Cup at a starting position. And then Franz-Mel Herbe gets a tight head prop position as normal. So this is actually really interesting, I thought, for the Springboks. They are technically playing 2 tight head props. Yeah, Trevor Nyanke also plays tight head prop. So they're technically playing 2 tight head props. And yeah, I don't know how that's going to go with the All Blacks. Is the All Blacks just going to be caught off guard because of this? We saw them against Wales. This is a very, very scary front row from the Springboks. So with Malcolm Marx as well, many believe that he is the best best hooker for the Springboks in the starting position, as opposed to that bomb squad finisher. Yeah, this is really, really, really scary. So for the New Zealand side, George Bower retains his number 1 jersey, has probably the most solid and consistent loosehead for the New Zealand side, even from Super Rugby, the Crusaders loosehead. Sumusani Takiaho, he comes in at the hooker position. I thought Takiaho deserved the starting jersey since day one, since the start of the rugby, since day one of the internationals. He has been very, very good for the Chiefs. His lineout has been impeccable. His set piece has been good. He's very, very physical ball runner. He just carries the ball forward and runs hard. And yeah, just that physicality that he brings is really, really, really more important for the All Blacks. And I think this is absolutely the right decision for the All Blacks to be selected him at the starting position, the hooker. Angus Tarvell gets that starting number 3 jersey. There's a lot of you guys did talk about how the Chiefs the is really, really good in Super Rugby. And I do agree. So Angus Tarvell obviously noticed being, the All Blacks do have a few injuries with the Blues. Tight head, I think what's his name? Osafa Moa gets injured. But the Chiefs forwards do have a really, really strong scrum as well. So Angus Tarvell gets number 3 jersey. We'll see how this goes. This is a really big test up against Trevor Nyanke. Now the next part for the 4-pack, the locks, Ibn Elizabeth and Lou Diaga. He comes in at number 5. The 2 most experienced locking combination for the Springboks. Probably the as good as you can get for the locks positions for the Springboks. They're up against Sam Whitelock and Scott Barrett. Scotty Barrett moves from 6 to 5 as a result of Brody Retallick breaking his cheeks. So Scotty Barrett, I thought, is better 5, to be honest, than 6. He did play really, really well at 6 position in the first test, but that was kind of like a one-off, whereas he did not play nearly as good in the third test where he was put in the 6th position again. So I do like Scotty Barrett at number 5 position. He does bring that mongrel, bring that physicality. He is probably the best player at the more defense for the New Zealand side as well. So really, really important for him to be in that number 5 position. Ibn Elizabeth for the South African side is the most important player in the entire 4-pack. He does all the lineouts. He's probably the best lineout executioner in the world. Not to mention the physicality and the scrum stability that it brings as well for the Springbok team. Sam Whitelock, the veteran for the New Zealand side, his performance has been on and off. When he's good, he's like extremely good, getting those turnover, the breakdowns, stealing lineouts all day long. And then when he's bad, he's just like, yeah, almost, you know, you don't even notice that he's on the field sort of thing. So it's really, yeah, the consistency is one of the things that Sam Whitelock is struggling a bit in recent times. In the loose forward positions, we have Sia Khaleesi, the captain, comes in at number 6. Once again, he's just one of those players who's very, very consistent, like quite opposite to Sam Whitelock. You know exactly what it's going to bring. Physicality, hard carry, running ball, and then just good tackling and defense. Something that the Springboks like really pride themselves on, just being really, really good defending team in the world. He's against a new kind of guy that gets called into the starting position, Akio Ioane. He did show a lot of, I guess, urgency, a lot of energy in the third test. He did score a try where the All Blacks looked like they were making a comeback. So I thought he was really impressive after coming off the bench. I think he came off the bench. Yeah, he came off the bench. He was really impressive in that regard. But again, his consistency wasn't exactly there. He had like a brief period where he looked really, really, really good. And then the consistency kind of just fell off a bit. So I really want to see him a bit more consistency. But good to see that Akio Ioane gets the number 6 jersey. Pieter-Steph du Toit for the Springboks gets number 7 jersey. He's actually at the blindside flanker position. The Springboks play left and right in flanker positions. So Sia Khaleesi is technically the open side flanker. Pieter-Steph du Toit and also doubles down as a third lineout option. Extremely good. He's one of the highest work rate players as well for the Springbok team. He carries the ball hard and he's really good defense. Just, yeah, really high work rate. For the New Zealand side, Sam Cane is the highest work rate player out of the test matches against the Irish. There was a lot of criticism for him for his performance against the Irish. A lot of people want to see him get dropped. I do think that, yes, he probably, you know, not the best Sam Cane we've seen, but in terms of the overall performance, the overall work rate, he was already the highest in the team. Like, nobody else in the team worked as much as Sam Cane, in the 4-pack anyway, worked as much as Sam Cane. So really, for him to get dropped, I do feel like you don't have another option, to be honest. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. And also Sam Cane, this is a great test for him, because if he wants to be, you know, the next Richie McCaw, he needs to be able to handle pressure like Richie McCaw did. Richie McCaw was not the, you know, always winning captain and never got, you know, slammed for being one of the, you know, the media has always asked. There was a time where he was being told, you know, to get dropped as well. So yeah, it's really good to see if Sam Cane can handle that. If he can, this will be a big step forward for his professional career as well. And number 8, Jasper Wiese up against Ardie Savea. Two very, very opposite play style at number 8 position for the two teams. Jasper Wiese is a guy that chases high balls, especially those box kicks, whereas Ardie Savea is a ball-running carry, ball-running attacking player. So Ardie Savea has again and again and again shown that he is a championship quality player. He gets the ball, he gets things done. One of those super individual performers on the field. And I do really like Ardie Savea, the way that he plays rugby, and really like brings that lift of the energy for the team to everybody around him as well. Jasper Wiese, more of a supporting role for the Springboks. High ball chases, it's all him. He's really good under the high ball. Suits perfectly for the Springbok strategy. Talking about the kicking game, the Faf de Klerk gets starting at number 9 position again for the Springboks. Everybody knows Faf de Klerk is the box kicker for the Springboks. So it's again, the Springboks is kind of like has a lot of inconsistent issues with the kicking game. Sometimes they just kick way too much, and sometimes they just, especially sometimes they do just the right amount, and it's extremely, extremely good. So Faf de Klerk, how he manages the game, really need to keep his head leveled and really needs to keep his decisions clean. And when he does kick, really to make sure that, that needs to be spot on to be in the right spot for Jasper Wiese, for his wingers, Demian Valemsa and Michael Zuluman-Pipi to chase them down. Otherwise, it does look, sometimes he does these kicks that they're just kind of just wasting the opportunities away. Aaron Smith comes in at number 9 for the All Blacks, the veteran, as good as you can get. Fast ball, good hands, good quick decision making. Number 9, everything the All Blacks want. Number 10, Hundred Pollard, Beauden Barrett. Two very different play styles. If you were to ask me last year, but now the two play styles actually converging a little bit between the two. So Hundred Pollard last year was very much a heavy kicking driven. Number 10, very rarely did he even run the ball last year. Whereas this year so far in the game that he played in the third test against Wales, we saw some running game out of Hundred Pollard we haven't seen before. Some lang bust, some defensive busting runs where he scored a try as well. So he kind of moved away a little bit from the kicking game. Whereas Beauden Barrett, always been known to be a good running, attacking player. His season for the Blues, he has worked a lot on his kicking game, so he has moved closer to the kicking side of the equation, whereas Hundred Pollard has moved closer to the attacking side of the equation. So the two fly halves are converging. We shall see how it goes. Beauden Barrett, his kicking game for the Blues has been exceptionally good and absolute beauty to watch. And quite frankly, when those kicks, some of the kicking game from Beauden for the Blues, I thought that was just like absolutely world class. Hundred Pollard is nowhere nearly as good as some of the stuff that Beauden was doing. So if Beauden can bring that to the game, and if Hundred Pollard, only goes for the kicking and he doesn't try the running game, I don't think Hundred Pollard can beat Beauden in the kicking game. To be really, really frank, I really want to see Hundred Pollard play a bit more running attack, shuffle up the style a little bit if he wants to match with Beauden in this game at all. So yeah, really, really key area to see how the Springboks manage that. The wing position, Marco Zuna Mapimpi again gets the number 11 jersey. The All Blacks gets Kayla Clark back from the injury. The physicality, the running from the wing position, really, really important for the All Blacks. And yeah, good to see Kayla Clark gets called back into the team, gets his return. Damien de Allende gets number 12 jersey. Lukam Yuan, number 13. The trial-tested World Cup winning combination for the Springboks. Not much else to say. Really, really good. Good length, busting, running, good ball handling, and really, really, really good defense for the two players as well. For the All Blacks, the center combination is has been a bit of a mixed bag of things for especially the last couple of years now actually. David Havili gets number 12 jersey over Quinn Tupaia. David Havili has moved more towards a kicking role, to starting to play more like a second 5'8" for the Crusaders. So maybe that's what they kind of look for in this game, having David Havili as a kicking option, second kicking option to Beauden Barrett. Maybe if that's what the Fonzie has in mind, I'm not too sure. Rieko Ioane at 13. I honestly, I don't think Rieko is a good 13. I think Rieko is one of the best possible wingers in the world for 13. Hasn't really shone. He looked good in Super Rugby because he's like up against, players that are from Australia, right? But against world-class centers, he just hasn't been able to find the space to get himself over the advantage line or sets up his players outside. He really hasn't been given that much opportunity, and I just don't. Yeah, like I mean, he does, like, every time he plays a 13, I just think he plays like a winger, and he just looked like the All Blacks are playing two wingers on the same side. Let me know your thoughts. I do think Rieko Ioane at 13 is not really the greatest option. And we'll have a look at the reserve as well, how the All Blacks are going to shuffle up the reserve. I think they might put Rieko on the wing. I don't know. Here's the thing, right? So we saw, this is something I kind of want to talk about as well. We saw Jordie Barrett play centre as well during the Irish Test series in the second half when the reserves came on. We saw Beauden Barrett maybe a fullback. I think we saw Richie Mwonga playing fullback and 10. It's just an absolute mess of players going all over the place. Okay, Fozzie. Okay, there's two things here. First, you need to make sure the players stick to the same position. Okay? There's really no reason for players to shuffle all over the place. Okay, that's number one. Number two, if players like Jordie Barrett, and Rieko Ioane, okay, both possesses the talent to be, one of the best fullback in the world. Like Jordie Barrett has the talent, the toolkit to be the greatest fullback in the world. Riku Ioane has the physical prowess to be the best winger in the world. If they don't want to play the role that they want to play, just drop them. You can't just drop them. If they don't have the passion to play the position they want to play, and they want to fulfill the teenage dream, Jordie Barrett wants to fulfill his teenage dream of playing outside centre, you can just tell him to hold the bloody tackle bag. Okay? He doesn't have to be in the team. And also, why is the All Blacks suddenly having all these players not wanting to play the role? So why are all these players not appreciating the opportunity that they've given? What is going on in the All Black camp? You never see, like, if you ask Dan Carter if he wants to play outside centre, he will say, yeah, I would love to play outside centre. He played outside centre for the Crusaders and lost the Super Rugby final. Yeah. But that's for the Crusaders. That's for his club. When he comes to the national game, if you ask Dan Carter, his passion, his dream ever since he was a child is to be a perfect number 10 in the black jersey. Because he's professionally driven by his passion to do so. And he has the right supporting team, right encouragement from the coaching staff to become that perfect version of himself in that number 10 jersey. And I just don't understand why you have these players wanting to play different positions. And then go to media. Like, go to media and have a whinge. Oh, I wanted to play centre. I always want to play outside centre, man. I played centre when I was in high school. And suddenly they asked me to play fullback. Really simple, Fozzie. If these players don't have the passion for their role anymore, you can't just drop them. Plenty of people wants to take that 15 jersey and drive it into the ground and be the best 15 they want in the world. If they want to dabble with something else, they can go dabble that in club rugby. And when they're ready, if they're actually good enough to be at world-class outside centre, then you put them in the number 13 jersey. Anyway, that's a bit of rant from me. So, for the Springboks, number 14 jersey, Curly Adensa gets another opportunity at number 14 after the injured, broken jaw to Cheslin Kobe. Man, this is a huge moment for Adensa. Gets that starting number 4, coveted number 14 jersey for the Springboks. Congratulations, my friend. You are living the dream. And also, it's very clear that the Springboks are trying to bring up the next generation of new talents as well. So really good to see. They have options to put different players number 14. There are a lot of good wingers in the Springbok team, but they opted for a young fella who only has one test cap for that opportunity. A new face to the Springbok side. Pretty good to see that the Springboks is planning ahead with their development as well. Will Jordan, probably the best fullback in the world, to be honest. Yeah, Will Jordan, probably the best fullback in the world. Number 14, he definitely was the best fullback in Super Rugby. Gets the number 14 jersey. The most dangerous man in the All Black side. A lot of good kicking game as well from him. So yeah, really dangerous on the field. Number 14, Will Jordan. Number 15, I see this again every week. The greatest player in the history of the Springboks, Damian Valemsa. Yeah, the man that the Springboks cannot function without. The greatest player in the Springboks, Damian Valemsa. Why are you so good? Comes in number 15 jersey. He's up against Jordie Barrett. And by the way, with that rant I just had with Jordie Barrett, I have nothing against Jordie Barrett. I think he has the talent. Like, it upsets me because Jordie Barrett has the talent to be like literally the greatest fullback in the history of the world. He has the talent to be the greatest fullback ever. And yet, some reason, the All Blacks management don't give him the right support that he wants to play centre. I just don't get it. I just don't know how you could... Yeah, anyway. Yeah. So for the substitutions, the Springboks has opted for Bungi Munabi, the guy that has been starting the hooker in the bench, number 16, Bungi Munabi. He's up against the veteran Dan Coles. So Cody Taylor misses out for the All Black side. Stephen Kitov gets number 17 jersey as normal. There's as part of the bomb squad. Stephen Kitov, number 17. Vincent Koch, number 18 for the Springboks. Ethan de Groot gets called back into the All Blacks team. A lot of you guys talk about Ethan is one of the best loose head props for the All Blacks in New Zealand. I do agree he's really good at scrummaging. I do worry about his defense, but we shall see this weekend if he's improved or not. Terrell Lomax gets the number 18 jersey for the All Blacks. I just realized something as well. Both Terrell Lomax and Angus Tarver had a spill in rugby with the Rugby Australia. Angus Tarver wanted to play for the Wallabies before he left for New Zealand. He was in the Waratahs, never got an opportunity to play under Checker. But yeah, both hardhead former Australian Wallabies I guess aspiring players. Anyway, Saman Morat gets number 19 jersey. Another new player getting slowly dripped into the Springbok squad. Tupuvai gets called into the substitute for the All Blacks. Franco Mostert, the veteran, the strong finisher for the for the Springboks, comes in number 20 jersey. Shannon Futsal, another new addition for the All Blacks, comes in at number 20 jersey for the All Blacks. Huaga Smith, number 21 for the Springboks. A guy that's pretty much going to be a completely different style to to Jasper Visa, because Huaga Smith used to be a sevens player and he's basically much faster at the breakdown, much more urgency. So if the Springboks needs more urgency at the breakdown, they're going to just swap out Huaga Smith for Jasper Visa, like they did against Wales in the third test early in the first half as well. So yeah, really interesting to see they have a different options on the bench for the Springboks. Finley Christie comes in number 21 as for the number 9 position. Jaden Hendricks comes in for number 9 position for Faf de Klerk, and Willie LaRue comes in for the fullback to cover the greatest player in the history of the Springboks, Damien Valemsa, at number 23. Also, Willie LaRue, I'm really starting to admire this guy a little bit, despite all the negativity that he gets from the media and stuff. He's very resilient and he works really hard. So yeah, I would like to see him continue to work and improve. And finally, Quinn Tupaea comes in number 23. I think this guy, Quinn Tupaea, should be starting. He was so talented. He showed so much talent in that first test against Ireland. I was so impressed the way he was. But I do think Quinn Tupaea probably best for the number 13 jersey than 12. I really want to see him in the number 13 jersey. He was so good at reading the kicking game. He was so good at attacking, good hands, setting up options for his out wide, creating options for the players for himself. And it's just, he was. I do think he looked a lot better, giving a bit more space out wide at 13 channel. And I really, anyway. As you can see, the All Blacks has Richie Mo'unga and Quinn Tupaea on the bench. Who are they going to go on for? Is Richie Mo'unga going to go on for Beauden Barrett? He didn't want, we're just not sure. We've seen Richie Mo'unga go on for the fullback. So I wouldn't be surprised if he gets on for fullback position again and have Beauden at 10. And then what's he going to do is going to put Quinn Tupaea at 12 and then move Geordie Barrett to 13 and have Riku Ioane shuffle out wide to the wing. I would not be surprised if that's what they do for the All Blacks. But like I said, Fozzie, just if the players don't want us to stick to their position, just drop them. Just drop them. Richie Mo'unga going for Beauden Barrett, have Quinn Tupaea go on for, you can literally have Quinn Tupaea starting and have, have Quinn Tupaea starting at 13 and have Rico on the bench to cover 13 and wing, okay? And have Will Jordan move to fullback and then have, Stephen Perifetta covering the number 23 jersey. He'll cover fullback, all the wingers, and even the number 10 position. Well, actually, Richie Mwonga's covering 10. So there's so many options, Fozzie. You don't have to stick to the... Yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. I really do appreciate you being here. Let me know your predictions. I think this game, my prediction is 19 points to 17 to the Springboks, winning by 2. Let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate it. Have a good day. I'll see you guys this weekend.